of whispers, alibis thin. Two sharp-eyed sleuths say, all right, who sinned? Hats tip low, clues fall in line. They read between the lines, right on time. Grim starts sweating when the squad rolls through. Every story tested, most don't stand up to prove. So grab your fedora, jump right in. True Crime Squad's on, and the trouble begins. Join the super squad, bonus laughs, deeper clues. Same sharp sleuths, just extra clues.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the True Crime Squad. This is Katie Weaver. I'm here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Kristi Brower. Hello.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
How's it going?
It is good. I have had a day of, tending baby, watching the trial, and 3D printing, man.
Yeah.
Keeps me pretty busy.
That sounds like a day.
Yeah. I mean, a good day.
Yeah. I have spent the entire day working on stuff to be ready for our oddities market this weekend. So
yes,
I'll have some show and tell for you shortly. But today was the day that I went, all right, we have to start tying up loose ends. We have lots of things that are mostly done, right? So
time to get your shit together.
Yeah, so we've been finishing some things and getting them priced and packed and that kind of stuff. Because, yeah, the time is coming. Plus, Saturday's kind of a moot day because we have a funeral. So, yeah,
we do,
we've got
yeah.
lots to do. Yeah. And Aunt Margaret passed a couple of weeks ago. And, Kristi, you're doing the life sketch. You wrote the obituary. You've been all over this.
I have. And today, I got a panicked call because somehow the funeral home did not receive the obituary, so I had to send it right over by text.
Oh dear.
I don't know.
Well, shoot.
I think our poor cousins are going to have extra gray hair by the time this is over. This has been quite a process because she died in California, so they've had to, go through all the stuff to transfer her here, plus prep everything here while they were in California. So
yeah.
It's been not cool.
It's been a lot, yeah, for sure. Blah. Yeah, well, at any rate, good job.
It's apparently something I'm known for.
That's
people
the thing.
suggest me when these things come up, and I'm like,
exactly.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we are too well practiced at the death thing, doing the obituaries and the life sketch and organizing funerals, and we've done several, and so yeah,
we've had, unfortunately, too much experience,
more than our fair share. So yes.
And I don't mind helping with this kind of stuff because I know for most people it's really, really daunting.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, well, I've done this a lot, so it's not daunting.
Yeah.
It's easy.
It is overwhelming for sure. Yeah. So, yes, but we do have a lot going on this week, so here we are. But there's so much going on in the true crime world, too, and a lot of cases that you guys have heard us talk about lots of times are coming up today for various reasons. But I think, Kristi, why don't we start with
Can we start with my
you
show
have
and tell
show and
first?
tell. That's right, yeah.
You guys. And I know I said these were going to be up today. They're not. They're going to be up tomorrow because I didn't have a chance to get things photographed. But I showed you the unicorn kit set. Well, I give you the astronaut set.
Oh my gosh, no.
Isn't he so cute? Or
He's
she, he or she.
precious.
I think it could be either.
Yeah.
And you get a clicker that looks like the moon in this set. And then you also get a rocket ship that they go inside of.
Okay, well, that's just adorable.
Isn't that the cutest?
That is
I about
so
fainted.
cute.
This designer released this yesterday, and I've already made it because it was so damn cute. But look at the little astronaut. Isn't he?
Astronaut is
Aren't they so cute?
precious. Yes.
And I like that it really is gender neutral. So if you've got a boy or a girl that wants to be an astronaut, look, guess what?
We got you covered. Yeah.
And it kills me that the helmet closes and opens.
I love that the helmet closes. That's a really good design.
I mean, it's a really good design. And
a
the
clicker
moon clicker.
moon.
Look at how cute that is.
Yes.
There's a clicker that goes in the all of these new sets I'm going to be doing, they all have a clicker with them, which I think is cool.
Fun.
Because so many kids that I know, and adults, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
they love the clickers. So anyway, this stuff will be up tomorrow, okay?
Some of
I
these
can't-
designers are so damn brilliant.
Oh my God, this one is incredible. I am just beginning with what
Mhm.
I can do with these designs. I'm very, very excited about it. This is the clicker that goes with the unicorn set.
Oh,
Looks like a little unicorn cupcake with horn and ears.
I love it. That is precious.
Painfully cute. Painfully cute.
Painfully.
Yeah.
Disgustingly, grotesquely, perfectly cute.
Extremely darling. Yes.
Yes. I love it. Well, I'm thinking we should probably dive in on the case the trial that's literally rolling out right now. So, Kristi, talk to us about Edrick Faust and all of the nonsense going on in court. Holy moly.
You guys, if you are not watching this trial, you should start. Trust me. Okay. I have watched the majority of it. I watched all of today. I struggled to find the words with what is happening in this trial. First of all, I am not convinced either way yet on this defendant. I didn't know anything about this trial until we just started watching it.
Yeah.
What I have seen in evidence is terrifying, frankly,
Yeah.
how little there is. I'm really stunned with that.
Mhm.
But one of the things that you need to know about this trial is that the defense has already asked for a mistrial 5 times. 4 of them today. Okay.
Whew.
So I'm going to explain that first, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about what happened in court today. So during the state's opening statements, Mr. Cruz, the defense attorney, this man is dogged for his client, and I am not criticizing that. I will tell you that I don't think that what he's doing is very effective, but he is fighting hard for Mr. Faust. Okay. Yeah, this trial is streaming, Court TV, Law and Crime, they all have it. When the prosecutor was giving his opening, he said, "You will hear that the DNA is a match." Mr. Cruz objected to that. They have these objections where they immediately go up to the judge and then they immediately kick the jury out. They kicked the jury out so many times today. I would have been absolutely furious if I were a juror.
Right. Well, and just
but
getting your running shoes on, my God.
Oh, yeah. And I think the judge has had it. But anyway, he asks for a mistrial over him using the word match. Now, you will not hear the forensic analysts use the word match because match implies a 100% for sure. And even in DNA, they can never, it's 99.999999%. They can never say 100%.
Yeah.
And so he asked for a mistrial for the use of that single word. The judge was, kind of like, holy shit, but she did not give him the mistrial. Obviously she did, tell the prosecutor to consider his words. And she did instruct the jury that, hey, that what prosecutors say is not evidence, and what any attorney says is not evidence. So just be aware of that. So then we get to today. Today, I'm still kind of stunned by today. So today on the stand, they had a neighbor who testified. They had a DNA expert on. They had a roommate and good friend of Tara Baker. And we need to remember that this is about the death of Tara Baker. Okay.
Right.
It's really important that we remember that. The neighbor, there were a couple of neighbors that testified that they saw a suspicious man around the neighborhood at the time of the killing. Now, the hard part about this is it comes across as white people calling the police on someone for walking while black.
Mm-hmm.
None of these people actually saw anything suspicious except for a black man in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
They didn't actually see them do anything, okay?
Right.
But what I have up on the screen is this is on the left side is a picture of Edrick Faust at the time of in the year that Tara Baker was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the composite sketch done by one of the neighbors.
Yeah.
I don't call this a smoking gun. I think
No.
I think this drawing looks like a pretty standard black guy.
Mm-hmm.
And considering the white lady that helped make it and the way she testified, I don't
Yeah.
know. I have no idea if she really saw anything or not. And the
No.
problem is, just because somebody was seen walking in the neighborhood doesn't mean that they killed anybody.
Right.
It doesn't place them at the scene of the crime. But
Mm-hmm.
this all happened. There were lots of arguments during her testimony.
Mm-hmm.
The objecting in this case is like
On
next
steroids.
level.
Yeah. Never ending.
It really is on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a huge amount of arguing. But so they bring in the expert that has put together this demonstrative report about how they think the fire was set. And because remember that this started out as a fire. And he has all of these photos that are photos of the testing that they did to determine how the fire was set.
Yeah.
Because there was no accelerant used.
Mm-hmm.
So because the stove, all the burners were on the stove, and they had whoever did this pulled the knobs off the stove.
Mm-hmm.
They think that someone put a chenille blanket on a burner
Mm-hmm.
till it lit on fire, and then they put it on the bed.
Yeah.
Near the body. Now remember that this did not go around, this fire did not go very far. It didn't even singe the victim's hair, and she was laying on the bed next to the fire. So it was kind of a poorly done fire, and it was done real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when they showed, all the prosecution did was they showed one photo
Mm-hmm.
of the house from the outside showing burned damage. That was a huge objection on the part of defense attorney Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted those pictures to not be able to be shown because they are not evidence of the crime.
Mm-hmm.
That this was improper evidence. The judge overruled him and said that this was a demonstrative exhibit and that they didn't have to approve each picture individually. And so Cruz called for a mistrial.
Yeah.
Which he didn't get. And this is the first of so many times of him not getting his way with the judge and then asking for a mistrial.
Yeah.
It's really extreme. His responses are very extreme. And I don't know. They showed the pictures. I mean, he did clarify with the witness that, like, hey, this is not the actual fire. Like, this is you guys testing the fire, not anything that, actually happened. Because I think it is really important to clarify those things.
Well,
but he's
and
just trying
honestly,
to keep.
why were they even allowed to show them at all? Truly.
Well, right, because the assumption that the jury has got to make, the leap they have got to make,
Mm-hmm.
is that because Cruz's DNA is inside the victim's body, he did the entire crime, even though they don't have any forensic evidence at all that places Edrick Faust
Mm-hmm.
in that house or committing the murder. They don't have anything. All they have is that
Mm-hmm.
DNA. That is their entire case and this composite sketch. That's it. That's their whole case. So they're going to show as much as they can to, convince the jury of the leap they want them to make.
Mm-hmm.
Then later in the day, he was trying to impeach the neighbor's testimony by playing a recording of her police interview.
Mhm.
Now, listen, this crime happened 25 years ago.
Right.
Okay. And he's trying to impeach the witnesses, by saying they're not saying exactly what they said to the police. I don't think that's that surprising. They aren't saying
Right.
the exact words, but they're not giving conflicting testimony. They might be using slightly different language than they did then,
Mhm.
but that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to trip him up. He fought on 2 occasions on this one neighbor, the same one that did the composite sketch,
Mhm.
to try to impeach her with a recording of her interview. The judge denied that. And he said, and now remember that these arguments are happening outside the purview of the jury. They're
Right.
out of the room every time.
Yeah.
But he said to the judge when he moved for a mistrial, "This trial has been worse than practicing in communist Russia. Faust doesn't stand a chance."
Mhm.
I mean, it was a pretty extreme response
Yeah.
and quite something to say to the judge. I don't know. This really extreme reaction stuff, it's not working.
Well, and there's major conflict between the defense and the judge. However, the judge doesn't give him anything.
Yeah, no, not at all. I know it. I'm struggling with it, but I don't
Mhm.
think that this is the way to go about it.
It's bad on both
So
sides. Yeah.
it is. So then he did also object to the foundation of using the fire testing in general. When he couldn't get through on the photos, then he did try to get through on, saying that there was no foundation laid for
Mhm.
this, that they hadn't laid proper foundation. The judge overruled that. He asked for a
Mhm.
mistrial again.
Yeah.
And then we get this gal on the stand. And she was the roommate and best friend of the victim. And the defense attorney, or the prosecution, asked her a lot of questions about, their life and, leading up to Tara's murder and, kind of how they knew each other and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Again, he tried to impeach her by saying that she didn't say exactly what she had said to the police. And she's like, you got to understand how many interviews I have done, not just with the police, but with the press, because I was her roommate. And
Mhm.
she regularly, he's like, "Did you say this?" And she's like, "If it's in the report, I did." But she's like, "I can't tell you exactly what I said in every single interview because there have been so many of them." And again, this was 25 years ago. Okay.
Right.
So then the defense gets up to cross her. And remember that there is the 412 statute, which is it is a rape shield law
Mhm.
that protects the victim from the defense being, well, anybody really being able to question their sexual history,
Mhm.
who else they may have been involved with, those kinds of things. Like, it doesn't
Right.
allow slut shaming. It also doesn't
Yeah.
allow for a defendant to talk about whether or not the victim consented.
Right.
And the defense keeps running up against this because they
Mhm.
started to question this friend about whether or not Tara shared very personal, intimate details with her friend.
Mhm.
Prosecution objects. 412. Okay.
Mhm.
At this point, it's 5-5 their time.
Mhm.
And the judge is like, "Okay, jury, I'm not going to make you leave and come back again. I'm just going to release you from the day for the
Mhm.
day. We're going to have this conversation. And we'll deal with this in the morning," basically. And
Mhm.
then they had a huge blow up where he's talking over the judge. He's accusing the prosecution of stuff. He's, accusing the judge of stuff. The judge is like, "I've ruled on this and this is what I said." "No, it isn't. You said blah, blah." Like, I don't get it. Like,
Mhm.
this is not going to get you what you want with the judge. And the judge, so the prosecutor, which I think there was a valid point on the part of the defense here that the prosecution was basically like, we think you're going to go somewhere you shouldn't go. We're going to object in advance, kind of.
Right.
Which I think that's not allowed,
No.
but that was one of his arguments, one of the defense attorney's arguments. Anyway, in the midst of this, he basically complained about absolutely everything the judge has ever done in her whole life. He tried to get the judge thrown off this case before the trial started.
Well, yeah.
And he bitched about everything everything under the sun.
Well, yeah, the conflict between them is not new.
It is not new at all. And then he asked for a mistrial for the 4th time today, which she denied again. And honestly, she does a really good job with him. Like, he's getting all pissed off and jumping around and yelling, and she's very calm. Okay, thank you for that. My ruling is blah, 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 blah. But one of the things that keeps coming up is that he wants to do things, that the defense attorney wants to do things that he has not done the proper procedure for.
Right.
You can get an exemption to this 412 rule if you apply for it, and it's approved ahead of the law, or ahead of time by the judge. And if it matches the law, the prosecution actually has one. And what he's trying to say in all of this is that they only have this man's DNA inside the victim's body. His DNA is not on the outside of her body. It is not on the bed. It is not in the house. There are no fingerprints of him. There is nothing tying him to this place. It's inside her body. But how do you get sexually assaulted in 3 orifices and not get the defendant's DNA on the outside of your body, not just the inside? It's weird. Okay.
It is weird.
And what he's trying to say is they might have had a sexual encounter prior to this event, and that those two things could actually be separate from each other, which is actually true.
Definitely true. Yeah.
It is true. Do I think that the jury's going to go for that? Probably not.
Nah.
And also because he's not doing this the right way. Number one, they don't have any proof that she ever met him before. There is no connection between the victim and the defendant. None. The prosecution doesn't have it. The defense doesn't have it. It doesn't exist. So that's pretty tough to make that argument when you can't prove that encounter did in fact occur at a different time.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that he's trying to get to, is that, hey, maybe they just hooked up the night before or something. The problem being that 412 rule gets in the way. Like, you can't talk about her prior sexual history other than this crime, right? Unless you file the proper paperwork with the court and the judge approves it, which he has not done.
Yeah.
Now, I think probably he hasn't done because he thinks that that she'll deny it. I don't know. There are several things now that she has said, well, I have told you that if you will file that, then I will rule on it, but you haven't filed it, and you can't just argue it with me over and over again without doing it the right way. And he has not followed the process,
right?
Which I don't really get why, unless he's literally just trying to fight the laws and not really defend his client. I don't know. It's really strange. He's very extreme. Yeah, no, the friend does not know the defendant. The friend never heard his name or saw his face or had any there's no connection. He has no connection to them, to any of this, except for the DNA in her body. It's very strange. But he was trying to, what he says he's trying to do is to get the best friend to say, well, Tara was really secretive about her personal life. I don't know if I knew her boyfriend, but I wouldn't have known if she'd had sex with some other guy. That's what that's what he's trying to get her to. He does get to ask that question in the morning. But it's very limited, again, because he has not applied for that exemption on the 412 rule. I don't know. I mean, endless arguing and the bitching and complaining and the whining, it's not getting him anywhere.
No.
And it just makes him look like an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that there's some legal argument behind some of what he's doing that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not coming
Well, and
across in a way
some of
that,
his frustration is some pretty significant discovery issues with the state.
yes,
Stuff
yes,
that they've had for literally years that they gave him a few days ago, and
yes, there
stuff
are
like that,
problems
that he
there.
should be upset about that.
Definitely, definitely. It's just the really unhinged way he's going
Mm-hmm.
about it that is
Yeah,
bizarre.
it is. It's
I
a
mean, there's also
lot.
missing evidence. There's evidence that the
Yeah.
state says exists, but they cannot produce it because
Mm-hmm.
they don't fucking have it,
Yeah.
including some hairs
Yeah.
that were identified to be from a Caucasian,
Yeah.
a Caucasian male. And
But
you
they
know
show
where
up to
those hairs are?
court
Neither
in
do
the
I, because
wind.
no one knows.
Yeah,
They
they show
have
up to court with,
envelopes
yeah,
where the hairs are supposed to be, and they are empty.
yep, empty envelopes that they say are hairs
Yeah,
from the crime scene. Yep.
yeah. So this whole thing, it is a shit show. It is a shit
Mm-hmm.
show on both sides, frankly.
Yep.
It really is.
Yep.
And they haven't, the only thing that they have presented so far, and it's only day 3, but the only thing that they've presented so far is the DNA
Mm-hmm.
that links this man to this crime in any way. But the
Mm-hmm.
DNA is so strange. And there is another sample of DNA on her body
Yeah.
that isn't the defendant and has
Yeah.
never been identified.
Yeah. That to me is really something.
This is wild. So,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not watching this case, this is Edrick Faust, the Tara
Mm-hmm.
Baker murder.
Yeah.
You should. This is a real education in the legal system, watching
Boy,
how
isn't
this is
it?
going down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have yelled at TV until I woke up the baby. I want this defense attorney to do it better.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he has a big record. The defendant. Yes, he does. He has a long record.
Yes.
But he has one conviction for a violent crime. Everything else is like drugs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, there was kind of an implication today that maybe this neighbor lady is racist and that maybe Tara Baker was racist or not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The neighbors all come across as shitty white people who are like, what is that black man doing in our neighborhood?
Yeah.
And they can't, I want to make this clear. They have never identified Edrick Faust as being the man they saw.
No one.
This reminds me of the Delphi case with the bridge photo with Bridge Guy.
Yeah.
In which none of the witnesses identified Richard Allen as Bridge Guy. This is the same thing here. They don't have any witnesses that can be like, yep, I saw a guy in the neighborhood that day, and that's the guy sitting right there at the defendant's table. They don't have that.
They don't have that.
All they have is this composite, and we have no idea who that is.
No. Yeah.
So,
well, especially, I mean, the one lady said that she called the police because it was just to see a black man walking through the neighborhood at 8:00 in the morning. Like,
it just seems suspicious.
It just seems suspicious. Yeah.
Yeah. It was that lady today. And it's gross.
Mm-hmm.
It's gross. It makes me want to slap her. Yeah. Honestly, she was pretty shitty with the defense attorney. And I went, yeah, you're just showing your true colors, lady. Because the defense attorney is a black man.
Yeah.
She was not shitty and defensive with the prosecutor, though.
Yeah.
She's really showing a bias. It's gross.
Mm-hmm. The jury sees through that kind of stuff. They do. But
I hope they do. I don't know, man. This is in Georgia. There's some racist white people on that jury. There are.
There probably are.
It does concern me. I just, I don't know.
I know. I don't like this case at all. Yep.
But at the same time, it's very interesting to watch. I have never seen anybody ask for a mistrial 4 times in one day.
After they were
judge has
held in contempt the day before.
Yeah. I mean, he's already been
fear, obviously, of being held in contempt because
he said that. He said, just let me ask my questions. And if you want to find me or whatever, but they're trying to stop him from ringing an unringable bell. The defense or the prosecution is. Yeah. I don't know. And the defense is doing the same thing to the prosecution, man. They are arguing and fighting. Well, I guess it's mostly Cruz that's arguing and fighting. I mean, the prosecution definitely does defend themselves, but I don't know, man. It's quite something. He's got a little bit of that like little man syndrome. This guy does. He needs to get his shit together. Somebody needs to be like,
Yeah.
look, dude, if you need to take a Xanax in the morning, maybe you should,
Mhm.
so that you can chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely fight for your client. It's your job. Absolutely. Do that. But also read the room and know what
Right.
tone is called for at the time. Yeah.
Well, and I don't know if he just thinks that all of this is grounds for appeal. Every time he's asked for a mistrial, that he'll be
Yeah.
able to go back and use that. But
And that may
holy
be.
crap,
That may be.
that appeal is
Yeah.
going to be 950 pages by the time this trial's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Phew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So I know that's a lot, but that's because it is a lot.
okay. Well, we have a lot today that's not a lot. So I wanted us to really
We do.
cover him well because it's definitely called for. This is one of those trials. But
Yeah.
here's another one coming. Get ready for a jump scare. Prepare yourselves. Here we go.
Ew.
Miss Kouri Richins. It's almost go time for Kouri. Her trial is, well, I believe, let's see. Well, let me get my notes up. I believe jury selection begins next week for Kouri. February 10th. Yeah. So, yep. Next week, the trial starts February 23rd. But there was yet another big question about whether or not they were going to move it. Because yet again, the defense had filed again saying, we really don't think that she can get a fair trial here. We really don't think that the jury pool is big enough. And we've done studies and we really don't think that this is going to work out. And again, the judge said, no, we are not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm a little surprised after looking at their the numbers that they put out when they requested the second time to move the trial. I really went, oof, they really are very saturated with this case and a small jury pool. I really kind of thought they'd go ahead and move it, but they did not. So the show goes on. It goes on next week. And that's where we're at.
Well, good. It's about damn time.
Right. For real, please. Please
This
get
other
this one
case,
over
this
with.
other trial better wrap up before Richins starts, dang it.
Right, no kidding. But
Because
this is
I'm
coming.
spending my time watching it. But if we
Mhm.
start streaming Richins, that's going to change.
Gonna take everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. It's gonna get wild. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that and let you know. But I would imagine we'll see a few more filings and rulings in between now and then, but that's where we're at. So, Kristi, tell us about a man who beat up some teens.
You guys. This is insane, okay? This guy right here.
Your label on this picture is dummy.
I know. I did that on purpose because this man is an idiot. Let's just be perfectly honest about it. He is a fool. And he deserves whatever he gets for this. So this happened in Texas. Dang it, I had the pronunciation of this and now I've forgotten it. It's Buda, but it's not Buddha.
Oh.
It's anyway, somebody correct me. I had it, now I've forgotten. Anyway, this guy's name is Chad Michael Watts. He's 45. He's from Kyle, Texas. And he had an incident with some teenagers. Last week, Friday, there was a student walkout protest that a lot of high school students around the country walked out of school protesting ICE. It happened all over the country. Well, it happened at this high school. A bunch of kids walked out protesting ICE, which is most certainly their right to do. And this guy took it upon himself to kick the shit out of, well, tried to kick the shit out of a teenage girl. And what actually happened is said teenage girl and a bunch of other teenagers beat this guy's ass. And I do have a video, and I'm going to show it to you in just a second here. But they beat him up. They ran him off. Do you see his black eye? It was no joke. But he just walks up and starts attacking this teenage girl.
Oh my
in
God.
this mob of teenagers. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, have you ever met teenagers? They're the meanest people on this planet.
This is true. Mink says it is Buddha. Yeah. You had it right.
Buddha?
Yeah.
Buddha. Okay. Okay. It's Buddha, Texas. Anyway, so I'm going to show you the video. Thanks, Al Jazeera, because this is where I got the video from. I had to take the audio out, though, because it was going to get us copyrighted. So here we go. Here's this guy.
My.
Yeah. He shoves the one girl down, tries to beat her up, and this is what happens to him. These kids dogpiled him.
Oh my
They
gosh.
beat his ass. Look at this. And he can't even get up to get away. They're like, listen, motherfucker, you're going to beat up one of ours. We are done with you. So he gets out of here, finally gets away. And this girl, she throws something, and I can't tell exactly what it is, but I think it might be his phone. But she throws something at him as he's
That looks
running
like
away.
a phone. Yeah.
It looks like a phone. I thought maybe his phone fell out of his pocket. She just hucked it to him where it probably shattered in the parking lot. But
Probably.
yeah, these kids were like, not on our watch, friend.
Yeah,
not
not today,
on
pal.
our watch.
Yeah.
No, and
I'm not usually a big fan of violence and beating someone up, but in this case, I kind of make an exception because what the hell, dude?
I mean,
All you had to do is not do that.
right. And the girl that you attacked is a minor. So this is an adult beating up a child.
Yeah.
The
Well,
this man and
let's
the
watch it one
juvenile
more time.
Okay, let's do, because I mean, frankly,
Mhm.
we're teaching our kids right here. Like, some hurt your friend, this is what happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
these kids were not messing
punching
around.
the living
Holy
shit out of this
crap.
guy. And look, he's just trying to get away. He keeps trying to get up to get away, and no, they are
What
not. Oh yes, he's
the
also
hell
holding
did
a
he
MAGA
think
hat in
was
his hand.
gonna
That's what the red
happen?
thing is.
Right. But what
I
did he
don't
think was going
know.
to happen?
That he was
He
just
just
going to
thought
beat
he
this
could
kid up.
just got to do this? Yeah.
I guess.
And so he's been charged. Good.
Yeah. So he has now been charged. Let's see. I wanted to, basically, the police were like, look, dude, you can't beat up kids. I don't care why you were mad. You're not allowed to attack kids, and they can defend themselves. And, a grown man hitting a teenage girl.
Mm-hmm.
This was very stupid. He's probably blown up his life over this.
Yeah.
Right, Amy? Yeah. Amy says, I'm 45 too. Why would anyone go after a teenager?
Right.
He doesn't know any of them. F that guy. Exactly. F that guy.
Absolutely.
Like, what are you thinking?
Mm-hmm.
That you're just going to walk up and beat up a teenager because they are protesting? Which they have every right to do.
Yeah.
So, this guy right here, take a look at his face, because he has just destroyed his life. His name is Chad Michael Watts. And those kids beat the crap out of him. Look at him.
Well, Chad, you are dumb as fuck.
Yes, I know. I couldn't remember his name when I was saving his picture. So, yes, I did save it as dummy, because I'm like, oh.
I saw the tag and
Dude.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Right.
If
somebody
we were
pulled
using
this on my
segments, it would be a
kids,
dumb
they would
criminal.
not be walking away. Yeah.
Right?
Yikes.
Like, dude, what are you thinking? I mean, that they're nearly full-grown people.
Yes.
You really thought they were just going to stand back and let you beat up their friend?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, sir. Wowza.
Yeah.
Wow. Tall Red
Of course,
said
his name is Chad. Yeah, he's a real Chad.
Yeah, he's a real
Definitely.
Chad. Yep.
Unfortunately.
Red said she was attacked at work by a rapist, and her male girl came out with packing tape, and the boss came out with a hammer, and the rest is history.
Oh, my God.
And the rest
See,
of the
I
people
do-
there were hitting and kicking. Yeah.
I do love stories like that, because really,
Mhm.
women do not have to tolerate this kind of behavior.
No.
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 And I want to be in a world where people come together to beat the hell out of somebody that is trying to injure or harm or assault or
Yeah.
kidnap or whatever the hell another human being. Like, bring it. Bring it.
Wow. Red said he got 66 years and never got out of prison. He died 5 years ago. Wow,
Oh my
Red.
God.
Well, I'm
That is
glad you
wild.
had good support fighting with you.
Yes. Good backup.
Wowza.
Christine said her grandkids are mean. Every teenager I have ever known is mean as hell. I would not get in a fight with a teenager. I know the odds.
They're looking for a reason. I mean, you go ahead and give them one. You will regret these things.
Right. It is very true.
All right, well, let's keep moving. So this is Sonny Kalua and his wife, whose name I cannot remember, but I'll get it. These are the people who have been accused of murdering. Oh, it's Kalua.
Lahua, right.
These are the folks that are accused of murdering Ariel Kalua. We've been covering this case for 5 years. This happened in Hawaii. We started covering this case when Ariel went missing. Yes. And if you recall, these are her adoptive parents. They had adopted 4 or 5 children from the same family. And they reported her missing one day. It was one of those, we just woke up and she's gone. Ariel was, I want to say 4. She may have been 6, somewhere between 4 and 6.
I think she was 6.
She may have been 6, yeah.
But still, just wandered out in the middle of the night and disappeared. Yeah, right.
Yeah. One of those. And after the state took custody of the other kids, those kids started talking, and it became apparent quickly that the Kaluas murdered Ariel. She was kind of their child, called it. They abused her the most. They wouldn't. They used withholding food as punishment, and they had purchased a dog crate on Amazon that they kept in the bathroom, that they kept her locked in at night, so that she wouldn't get up and steal food in the night because she wasn't allowed to eat. Yeah. But apparently
I want to lock these 2 in a dog crate and never ever let them out.
Yeah. Apparently it wasn't enough to just lock her in a dog crate at night. She cried. Oh no, she had the nerve to cry, a hungry little child that was injured, as well as locked in a dog crate. So they put duct tape over her mouth and she died. And the rest is history. But it has been 5 years. 5 years.
Also, her body has never been found.
Body has never been found. And there's a reason for that. We've talked about it before. I won't even do it to you again tonight. But she was disposed of in pieces. But at any rate, this case haunts me. And it makes me so damn mad because every time these 2 assholes are supposed to go to trial, there's another reason why. And they should be at trial yet again right now. And they're not because Sonny's attorney recused themselves. So now we're waiting until August.
I have never, ever seen a trial have this many extensions. It is
I have Jessica Mast.
Insanity. Jessica Mast, yes. Okay, that's a great example. That's another one. But this is
another murdered child.
Insanity.
Whose parents
right, and there are children
charged.
who, yeah.
And the Masts still have not been to trial either.
Mm-mm.
And they, I believe, killed Jessica a year before the Kaluas killed Ariel. I don't understand this. I don't.
It's insanity.
Now, these 2 are in custody. They have been this whole time. But it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years. And it's them. It is their camp that is constantly trying to get another extension, another extension, another extension. I'm so exhausted over it. Disgusted by it. So maybe in August.
It's insane.
Maybe in August. Maybe Ariel will finally get some justice.
All I have to say is it better be.
Mm-hmm.
It's just disgusting. Why? They have so much evidence against these people. And allowing them to delay. I mean, I think that the defense should have plenty of chances if it's justifiable. Yeah. But give me a break. 5 years.
Yep. And then just to be clear on her name, there gets to be a lot of confusion on her name. Her birth name was Ariel Sellers. When they adopted her, they named her Isabella Kalua. I always call her Ariel Kalua because, well, we're still asking for justice for them.
And her bio family, has kind of come out and said, don't call her Isabella.
Please don't.
These people
Yeah.
killed her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was her grandma. Her mom's mom is a social worker who lived on a different island, had no idea these kids were all getting adopted out. She would have taken them. She would
Never
have taken
even
them. She
called
wasn't
and
given
given
the
an
option.
opportunity,
Yep.
which I just cannot fathom, because I know from working
Mhm.
as a social worker and being an adoptive parent out of the system that state systems normally look first to see if there are appropriate family
Yeah.
before
And in
they
this
ever put a
case,
child up for adoption,
yep.
as in being an orphan in the system.
Not only
And
that, Sonny had a record. He shouldn't have ever been allowed to foster
no,
or adopt.
no, I mean,
Yeah.
that's 101.
Mhm. Yep.
The whole situation is so sketchy.
It is awful. Yep. Oh, well, speaking of awful, talk to us about what is new, what's going on in Nancy Guthrie.
Well, unfortunately, not a lot that we are going to report on. There are a lot
Mhm.
of rumors out there,
Yes.
unsubstantiated rumors, and we've got to be really careful, because Ashley
Mhm.
Banfield reported
Mhm.
that there is a suspect and that the police are after an individual person. I am not going to
Yeah.
say who, because the police have not identified that person as even a person of interest.
No, and in
This
fact, they're
person has not
denying what
been.
she said. Yeah.
Right. They're denying that. They have not arrested this person. No one has been charged. There's a lot of rumor stuff going on. Okay. 2 different news outlets have reported receiving ransom demands for
Yes.
Nancy Guthrie. We still don't know if those are real. They are
Right.
being investigated.
Of course.
The sheriff's office in this case is like, look, we are looking at everything,
Right.
but that doesn't mean we're going to tell you if we haven't confirmed anything. And they
Yeah.
haven't. They say they do not have a
Mhm.
prime suspect, that they are working with the FBI to evaluate evidence and to prioritize tips. They said they've got hundreds of leads, lots of tips coming in.
Mhm.
What we know is that Nancy's still missing.
Yeah.
The other thing that we know now, we are hearing that they are confirming that there were blood droplets near the front door of the house.
Mhm.
So that is a concern. They've called
Yeah.
the house a crime scene. That's another reason why now.
Mhm.
There's also, Nancy wore a smartwatch that connected to her pacemaker. And
Mhm.
the pacemaker and the watch lost connection at about 2 a.m.
Yeah.
on the morning, on the day that she was abducted.
Mhm.
It's bad.
Yeah, that's
It's
really
very bad.
concerning. Yeah.
But we need to be very careful. We don't ever name a suspect unless the police have named that suspect and are charging
Right.
that person. And this is why
Yeah.
it is extremely important
Yeah.
that we really be sure that things have been confirmed. Now, if the
Mhm.
police come back and say, okay, yeah, we are investigating this guy and we are going to charge him with something, we'll tell you.
Yeah.
But until then, I
Yeah.
don't know why Ashley Banfield would like to take the risk of identifying someone as a suspect in a case when they're not, because that gets you sued.
Mhm.
And it's wrong.
Yeah.
This person's name and face are out there now as a suspect in
Mhm.
this case with no confirmation from law enforcement. And that is just not
Right.
okay
And their
to do.
family's going through hell right now.
Yes.
Hell. And this is the worst of true crime. To
It
pile
is.
on, to pile on, to say things that aren't substantiated, to create this kind of drama and sensationalism. It's the worst of true crime.
It
Yeah.
is. And it's fucked up. It's wrong.
Mhm.
And people should stop doing it.
Yeah.
When this
Yeah.
person or any person is confirmed as a suspect, we'll let you know. But we're not doing that. It's
No.
ridiculous. And as far as the ransom notes go, they might be real. They
Right.
might not be real. We don't know. They are investigating those things, but we got to
Of
be
course.
careful to just jump on any bandwagon when it comes
Mhm.
to a case like this. Because
Yeah.
listen,
Yep.
in this day and age, with everything that we have on the internet and we know, anybody could have sent that ransom note.
Right.
They could have sent the ransom note and
we
said,
also know
"Here's
that
my
people are
Bitcoin."
sick and fucked up and they do terrible things.
Yes, this shit
People
does
make
happen.
GoFundMes when awful things happen that aren't even associated with the families to earn money for themselves.
Right.
People do terrible things.
Right. They do. And so that is very real. This could be truly related to this case, and it could not be.
Sure.
And I think we have to be really careful about jumping on any bandwagon when it comes to stuff like that until this has been verified. And it just hasn't yet.
Yep.
We just really don't know anything new. There will be another press conference tomorrow. The sheriff had said they were going to do one every other day unless something really big came up. And so we will see if he has any more stuff.
They haven't had much. There was another rumor, too,
really
that there was more than one abductor. And the sheriff says they have no idea if that's true. They don't know.
Yeah, they don't know yet. They're still gathering evidence and trying to catch up. And, you know, their first priority right now is to find Nancy.
Right. And the more all this stupid shit swirls around, the more it distracts law enforcement and the public from keeping their eyes on what is pertinent right now, what needs its focus.
Right.
Not that law enforcement isn't capable of filtering that out. Of course they are, but
it adds to their burden, and I just think that's wrong. We need to focus on finding Nancy.
Yep.
And then on who did this and why and all that jazz.
Yeah.
You know, but first, let's find her.
If there's any chance that Nancy's out there and still alive, hello. And we know the first 48 are the most crucial moments, and they're gone now.
They are gone now. Yeah. She's been without her meds. I mean, there's a lot of scariness here.
Yeah.
But that's really where we're at with it.
Yep. Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on it for sure.
Oh, whoops.
Okay. Oh. Okay, another jump scare. Prepare yourselves. Boom.
Oh, worse.
This right here is Charlie F. Adelson. Adelson. I've heard it both ways. What we do know is that Charlie's team did argue yesterday for a new trial. And their basis for that is that they are claiming that 40% of potential jurors screened already had preconceived notions about their client's guilt. They're arguing that this level of bias made it impossible to select an impartial jury. I think the struggle that they have is that they don't have a lot of proof that the jury itself was tainted. They're basically arguing that, hey, we wanted to move it somewhere else because Tallahassee has already just been so inundated with coverage of this case that we don't think we could get a fair trial. And they didn't get that. The judge insisted that they keep it in Tallahassee. Right. So.
But just the whole potential juror thing. Well, what about the actual jurors? What evidence do you have of actual jurors? And they haven't got much in that department.
Yes. Well, and one of the appellate judges, or the Supreme Court judges, she questioned the claim, she said that no affidavits had been filed prior to trial to document the alleged media exposure and bias. So she's like, how are you coming here now saying that when you didn't say that before trial? She said, what you don't have in this record is how many times those exposures happened, whether they were biased or not, whether there were some broadcasts or podcasts that in fact argued your client was innocent. He doesn't have any of those things. So he's basically just saying it's not fair.
Yeah.
Without a lot of evidence.
It's not going to. I just don't believe that's going to go anywhere at all.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because, I mean, every defendant could say, this is not fair.
Yep. So we'll see. There was no ruling, of course, yesterday. These things take some time. We don't know when they'll respond. They'll respond when they respond. That's how these things work. So, but they did have their day in court. So that's what happened. I mean, that was their strongest argument. It was mostly what they had to talk about. All right, yes. Kristi, let's see. Talk to us about the Tyler Robinson hearing.
Yes, I watched this, so you don't have to. I even recorded it thinking maybe I was going to show you some of it. But no, I'm not. It was boring as hell. Okay, so this was the hearing to finish up the conversation about, hey, the prosecutor, one of the prosecutor's daughter was there at the Charlie Kirk shooting, and we think that they might be biased and maybe shouldn't be on this case.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what they said, what the defense said. And, also they really questioned the decision to seek the death penalty and how quickly that happened, and how, the governor said it, even though that's not his job. And, like they were making statements like this before Tyler Robinson was even arrested, which I think everyone thinks is gross.
Yeah.
However, is it enough to get this prosecutor kicked off the case? I will just tell you, I do not think it is. Now, I can't, 100% say no, that they, what I'm saying, but I really doubt it just in watching this. I will tell you, though, that the county attorney in this case might need to be on medication for his memory. I don't know. I was stunned at how much, because he was on the stand and he was cross-examined, kind of about all this, like, hey, you picked the team and you put this guy on there, and did you know his daughter was at the shooting? Which the answer to that is yes, he did know that.
Yeah.
He says it never even crossed his mind when he picked the team for this prosecution that he was picking the best team he has, and that was it. The dude could not remember anything. He answered incorrectly and was prompted multiple times by the attorney that was questioning him. Are you sure? Now, you don't know anything about that interview? Like, that interview that we had, like this time or that time. And he's like, no, I don't remember an interview. And he's like, like after our last hearing. Oh, you mean the interview after our last hearing? Oh, well, yeah, I was aware of that. Like all this shit that I'm like, you're the boss, dude. He was an idiot. Okay, he was not that. Yeah, he was the boss. He's the freaking. He's the guy that is elected.
Yeah,
and then hires everyone under him. And I'm like, my God, what an idiot! It was very dumb. But I mean, the bottom line is, I don't think that they're going to get this prosecutor thrown off. I don't think they're going to get one or all. I don't think they're getting anything. Out of it. They did question Grunender, who is the prosecutor whose daughter was at the Charlie Kirk thing. The daughter also testified, but that was done under seal because I don't know, everyone was so terrified. She is an adult.
She's an adult. Yeah.
He said that her presence didn't play a role in his office's decision to seek the death penalty. They said that they did it because they felt that they had enough evidence. I think one of the big challenges to that argument is that this crime absolutely does qualify for the death penalty in Utah. It's not like they're like really stretching to qualify this case for the death penalty. They're not.
Right.
Was it done in a stupid way? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Should people not say things like that on the, to the press? Yeah. I mean, we learned that in the Kohberger case in Moscow, Idaho. It's the same kind of thing. Too many people yapping their jaws that should not have been.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. But ultimately, is he like getting, are they seeking the death penalty out of retribution and not because his case qualifies for it? No. The daughter apparently was like, yeah, it was scary, but I'm okay. She hasn't needed counseling or anything. She didn't even actually see the shooting. She was looking away at something else when it occurred. So she didn't physically witness it. She was just in the crowd when it happened. And I mean, we've all witnessed it now because the video of it is all over the internet.
Yeah. Oh, definitely announcing it before he'd been arraigned is totally wrong.
Oh, hell yeah. That's not supposed to happen. There's an order to these things.
Well, and the people who announced it didn't have the authority to even decide if that was happening or not.
It's the county attorney that makes the decision. Although he might have forgot if the governor didn't remind him, honestly, because that dude,
oh dear,
that dude needs meds or to drink more caffeine or something. Because I'm telling you, what an idiot! I was amazed. And that poor attorney that's questioning him, who's on his team, who was
Yeah.
trying to gently, oh, okay, well, maybe you'll remember blah, 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 blah. And he'll be like, no, I don't remember that. I don't, what? And you can tell from the
Oh
attorney
my
that he's
God.
like, holy fuck, dude, what are you doing? Yeah,
Oh,
it was
no.
quite something to witness. All of this
Wow.
was, it was all done poorly. And yeah, I mean, out of an abundance of caution, I do think that this county attorney should have gone to the state attorney general's office and said, hey, so in this Charlie Kirk thing, one of my prosecutor's adult child was at the shooting.
Yeah.
Maybe we should, investigate this just to make sure that there's no conflict of interest. They didn't
Right.
do that.
Right. They
And
should
they
have
should've.
done that. Yeah.
I think the outcome is going to be the same either way, but I think it would have looked much more transparent
Right.
and like
Had
they were
just been
taking
very
this seriously.
honest about it. Yeah.
Yeah, because the defense is like, hey, we just learned about this and we don't think this is right.
Right.
So basically, the judge has to determine in the situation, first of all, should this be turned over to the attorney general's office to investigate it? Or was it okay for the county attorney's office to investigate themselves with it, which I think is really sketchy. And so if he doesn't turn it back to the state AG, which I really don't think he will, then he has to determine was there a conflict or not based on the investigation that they did and like the witnesses that he heard and stuff. Will he decide, he may decide to just say, yeah, no, I don't think there's a conflict here in the end.
Yeah.
Is it something that could come up at appeal? Yeah,
Totally.
it is.
Yeah.
I don't think that they've been able to prove or show any actual bias because of the daughter witnessing it. They just don't have that. But I think it's justifiable for the defense to have investigated it.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, I was watching this on East Idaho News' YouTube channel, and I made a huge mistake, and that was to read the comments.
Oh dear, no. Don't ever do that.
You guys,
no.
We live around some of the dumbest dunderheads I have ever seen. Some of the comments, verdict now! He's guilty! Why doesn't the judge just say, he's guilty and give him the death penalty? We're like a year from trial. Easily a year from trial. Like, holy shit.
People
do
do
not have one clue how the criminal justice system works? And the answer is no.
Honestly,
they don't. I had to stop watching the chat. It was driving me insane.
They have done a good enough job in schools, and maybe just in the news in general, in explaining and helping people understand the justice system, because no, they don't. People get so angry. Why are we wasting so much time and money on this? 'Cause it's the law?
Because that's how the criminal justice system works?
Yeah.
And a big death penalty case like this, it's going to take a long time to go to trial. And really, they're doing it fairly quickly.
Right. But people will be like, and we're feeding him the whole time? Well, yes, because that's the law. What are you talking about?
By the way, our criminal justice system believes in innocent until proven guilty. This kid is not convicted of anything yet.
No.
But it's just like, holy shit.
It's any case, though. It is any case. The comments are just mind-blowing. Yeah. Yeah. And then you have the few people that are like trying to explain the legal system to people, and they don't want to hear it. They don't. They want to believe
they
what
were
they
blocking.
believe.
They were all talking about, well, I blocked him. I blocked them.
Yeah.
Anybody that was trying to speak reason were just getting blocked right and left from people in the chat. And clearly, East Idaho News does not use any moderation.
No, they don't.
Because there was some insane stuff. But how are they? This is just time wasting. How are they allowing this? This is a very legitimate concern. It is. It's a legitimate concern. And the judge had the opportunity to not even have these hearings over this and just rule on this. And he didn't.
Right.
He said, yeah, we better hear this.
Yeah.
Because, you want to appeal proof your convictions as a judge. And so doing your due diligence is required.
Absolutely. Any good judge is going to do that.
Right.
Especially
so anyway,
this case.
I was just I forget sometimes how disappointing the people are I live around. And not all of them, obviously. There are some wonderful, many, many wonderful people here too.
Well, and
But
to
there
be
are
fair,
some
a
that are
lot of people follow East
stunningly
Idaho
stupid.
News that aren't from here
That is true.
because of De Belvallo.
Yes.
I see this all the time. East Idaho News posts a story and people comment, "Why don't you tell us what state this is in?" And other people are like, "It's in Idaho. This is an Idaho newscast." But people don't know that.
It's called East Idaho News. God.
You cannot argue with stupid. It's correct.
No. I almost commented a couple. I'm like, what are you doing? Get your hand out of there. If you've lost your mind, you're not going to. There's no reason with these people. But just the verdict now. Just say he's guilty now and send him off for the death penalty. I'm like, oh, you idiots. That is not how any of this works.
Oh, Lordy.
But there were tons of people posting that.
If it was their son or their brother in the hot seat, you know, I always think
right.
You might have some hard and fast opinions about stuff unless you had a family member going through this, and you may feel a little differently then.
Right.
Or you personally.
Or you yourself. And then you want to make sure that you're getting all your rights.
Mm-hmm.
And that is exactly how our system works.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I don't know. It was a wild ride. So we'll see what the judge does with this, but I kind of think it's going to come to nothing, honestly.
I'll bet it does. Well, let's stay in Utah for just a moment because guess who's back? Back again.
Oh, no.
Well, that would be the kids whose mother kidnapped them and went to Europe with them.
God, they're back?
Yes, and their dad has been in Croatia trying to bring them home. Well, guess what? They have been released. They announced on their GoFundMe on the 1st that they're on their way home. So we don't know if they're back in Utah yet for sure, but we believe that they probably are close to it. They were able
they're in the care of their own family now.
Mm-hmm. And they were allowed to take all 3 of the Seymour kids as well as their little half-brother. Who they were not allowed to take was the 5th child.
They weren't.
And they are very concerned about this kid. They are doing everything they can to help him. His mother's incarcerated, along with these kids' mom. And
that is in a totally other country. That kid's
there's all this complicated stuff happening. So here's what their GoFundMe says. These guys are wonderful. They really are. They have their GoFundMe has raised nearly $60,000, and awesome. They have used a bunch of that money to buy a ton of things for the orphanage that they needed, and also, of course, to get their kids and bring them home. Yeah. But they've also done some things for this other boy, and they've set some money aside for him in case there's anything else they can do to help out. But I wanted to share what they said about him. They said, okay, so here's their whole post because I think it's great to hear. We're taking the kids home, yes, including Jacob. That's the little this is not their dad, but he was able to bring him home for his dad.
Get him. Yeah. Oh, good.
After so much work from so many people, the social services employees informed us that the police have finished their investigation, returned the children's passports, and gave us the go-ahead to pick up the kids from the children's group home in the morning. We are all excited to get back to mostly normal life. Thank you so much to everyone who has helped us locate and fight for our kids. In no way, shape, or form could we have done this without all of you and our amazing network of family and friends. We don't even know where we would be or where the kids would be without you all. We unfortunately don't have an official update on the 5th child, but we are reserving funds for any legal help he needs to get himself into a good situation wherever he considers home to be. He has been very worried about not being able to communicate with friends and family. And this child said they probably think I'm dead. So we purchased him a decent phone with a plan. Luckily, he was able to log back into his old apps and reconnect with the friends he hasn't spoken to in a few weeks. We put our contacts in his phone so he can reach out to us for help at any time. We were also able to purchase a number of items for the group home based on what the children have said is needed. We hope to be able to find other ways to give back, not only because they served our kids with love and care, but also to try to improve the lives of those children left behind. So, good on them. I'm overjoyed for them that they were able to bring their kids home, and I
I'm so grateful that those kids
hope
are
that
home and back with their family and safe.
yes, and I just
It
hope
is a
that the other kid's
miracle that those
okay.
kids are alive, honestly,
It is.
considering the insanity that their mother has drugged them through. It's
I
awful.
was so afraid for those kids. It felt way too much Lori Vallow. Oh,
It did. Yeah.
yep. So what a relief that they are okay. Christy, you had a little bit about Kohberger.
Yes. We had reported last week that there were some reports that maybe the Idaho Department of Corrections was dumping Kohberger on another state.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no. IDOC has come out and said, "Oh hell no, we are not. Kohberger is going nowhere." Idaho has wanted their a pound of flesh out of Kohberger for a long time,
I mean,
and
they built a facility to shoot him.
they literally did. I know. So he continues to file complaints and be a real pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
But IDOC said no. There is no plan to transfer him out of state, and IDOC is not considering a move for Brian Kohberger. So guess what? We're keeping him.
Well, the guards are like, shit.
That's probably a rumor that started with someone like a guard or somebody that was like, man, we wish
Probably
we could
did.
get rid of him. But the
Right.
higher ups are like, oh, no.
No. 5
He
more
will be
decades or
staying
so,
right
Brian,
there.
you'll be okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's done nothing but bitch and complain. He's been a very
He
difficult,
doesn't seem
dramatic.
to understand that he is in a maximum security prison for the rest of his life for the murder of 4 people.
Yeah.
It's like he's not taking this seriously at all. It's
Mhm.
almost like he doesn't live in reality, friends.
Right. He doesn't like these bananas. He wants a different one.
Oh yeah, so mad
Mhm.
about the bananas.
Yeah. Good
Like, dude,
Lord.
you might have to give up your veganism being in prison. I'm sorry, but you might.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, Idaho doesn't know shit about vegetarians and vegans, okay? I
Yeah.
was a vegetarian in the state for a long time. And let me tell you, there
Yeah.
is no accommodation.
No.
He is probably getting not very much food because they don't have a clue
Right.
how to feed him.
I'm sure they don't. Yeah.
No.
Alrighty. Last story tonight. We have reported on this story before, but I can definitely say it's fallen through our cracks, and maybe it just kind of has in general. But do you guys remember when those 2 moms were driving in Oklahoma? It was on Mother's Day a couple of years ago, and they
Oh
vanished.
yes,
And then their
yes,
vehicle was found abandoned on the side of the road. And then 2 weeks later, they were found buried in a chest freezer. And it turned out it was a custody battle with a grandma, and these people were in this weird like religious cult thing, and it turned out it
yes,
was
yeah,
like 5 or 6 adults, right, that were all
hmm
involved in this, right? Right. Talk
yeah,
about a
yeah.
jump scare, right?
hmm
Well, main grandma, who was in the custody battle with one of the women that was murdered, Veronica Butler. So it was Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly that were murdered.
Right. Okay.
And so we know Veronica Butler was in a custody battle with Grandma Tifany Adams. This is Tifany Adams, this woman right here. So Tifany, she's 56 of Keys, Oklahoma. She took a plea deal. Well, sort of. She took a no contest, I believe.
Ugh.
But she's been sentenced to life twice.
Good.
Yeah.
Does that mean she's turned on the other ones?
I don't know that she has. She just entered a no contest plea. So is she going to testify against the others? I don't know about that. Yeah.
The whole I hate that murderers get to plead no contest. I really
Hmm.
do. I think that's wrong, man.
Yep. Yep. So there were 3 other suspects and then one that was added later, but Adam's boyfriend, Tad Burt Collum, and then Cole Earl Twombly, Cora Twombly, and then later on Paul Grice They've all been charged. Some of them have pled guilty. Some of them are going to be going to trial at the end of this year and into 2027. So this is
Wow.
going to continue to march on for a while. These are
Yeah.
all people that damn well should have known better, and somehow
Yeah.
took it upon themselves to murder 2 women. And but also, these women were stabbed to death many times.
Brutal.
Many, many
Really
times.
brutal.
Yeah.
God.
So prison is exactly where this lady belongs. And to think that
Yes.
she was fighting tooth and nail in court for custody of her grandkids, and this is the human she is.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Amy, I was thinking the exact same thing. Amy said, crazy that Tifany's are in their 50s now, right? I was thinking that too, because that's a real Gen X name.
The
Tiffany
90s name,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, real 90s, 80s, 90s name. And yeah, the Tiffany's, because yeah, she doesn't look like Tiffany, does she? Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
Well, there you go. That's what we've got. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
So we'll be back tomorrow for our last show of the week at 3 p.m.
Mhm.
Mountain. And yeah, we'll see what we can see. There's still plenty going on out there. I will tell you that
Mhm.
during this show, the Guthrie family put out a video message. Looks like it's about 3.5 minutes long.
Oh,
Probably
okay.
worth the watch. Yeah, I wish it had come out a little sooner. We would have shared it with you, but it's out there. So I know
Okay.
it's on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I think it's everywhere. So if you want to watch that, go take a find and you'll find it.
Awesome.
Alrighties.
Yeah.
Well, please take good care of yourselves and we'll see you tomorrow. This has been yet another production of the True Crime Squad.
Bye, everybody.
Join the super squad, bonus laughs, deeper clues, same sharp sleuths, just extra clues.